Is good, guys? Welcome back on the channel. Inter 4, Union Saint Gilloise nil. It's another cruise control win for Inter in the Champions League. 3 wins out of 3. But guys, I can see all the comments. We'll get into Inter's game, but first we gotta cook. We gotta do some pan frying, cause Conte and his Napoletani boys have just been deep fried, not even pan fried, by PSV, by Perisic and co. 6-2. I can't believe it. I saw the comments and I had to go and check the score actually, because the last time I was checking the score on the side whilst I was watching Inter, it was 4-0 to PSV at one point. When did it go to 6-2? How many goals were there in the last few minutes? That's crazy. Lorenzo Luca got sent off. Antonio Conte, you are a certified fraud in Europe. A certified fraud. The stamp is there for life. Unless he wins the Champions League, literally that's the only way he can remove it. That guy is stamped for life as a Champions League fraud or European fraud. Because how the hell are you losing 6? You can lose to PSV Eindhoven. They're a respectable team, especially last few years. They've given lots of teams trouble. Milan, they know all about that. 6-2. 6-2. That is madness. Because in Champions League, especially like apart from like Juve and Milan, I do usually try to support the Italian teams. With Atalanta, I'm very happy if Atalanta go far in the Champions League. Napoli, go ahead in the Champions League just for the Serie A, for the respect of Serie A. Italian teams making a bit more money and all that kind of stuff, and they're not our biggest rivals. So with Napoli, Atalanta, like these types of teams, I'm happy if they do well in Europe. And of course, in Napoli, if you're competing for the Scudetto, you want these types of teams to be going further in Europe to they have more games, more fatigue, and all that kind of stuff. But this, I guess, if you're gonna get cooked, if you want, even for someone that was kind of not so, I wouldn't call it supporting Napoli, but as I said, I do like the Italian teams to do well in Serie A, to do well in Europe. At least if they get cooked, let them get cooked properly. Let them get deep fried properly, because at least now we can enjoy it. Yes, okay, maybe this might bite us in the ass at the weekend because we're playing Napoli, but who cares? Let's cook them today. Antonio Conte, the players, they deserve this cooking. Hold that, Antonio, hold that. Yeah, I'll talk about Inter's game for sure. Let me just get into the comments. I'll get to yours as well, Stuart. Where Isaac's enjoying it. Who else? Aaron Wynn, he's enjoying it. Massimo is in the house, he's enjoying it. Portaida says we need to win this weekend for sure. I mean, we need to watch back this PSV game and find out what weaknesses they found in Napoli, because a lot of the Serie A teams don't seem to find many. Gabriel is enjoying it. Mattia, I'm sure, is enjoying it. I'm sure he'll bring us back down to earth very quickly. Tambir is enjoying it. Who else is enjoying that Napoli downfall? Who else? Come on, guys. Comment down who else is enjoying this. The Parrucca, Abdulaziz, the Parrucca, which means the wig. Worst European coach of the time. This is the thing. Antonio Conte actually has seriously a stake. If you want to talk, especially modern era, like post 2000s, you could actually put him in a conversation to be the one, if not the best Italian, just league coach, Italian league coach. He's already in the conversation for like one of the all-time greats. But when it comes to European coach with good teams, he actually also has a real stake to have that claim there as well. Worst European coach of all time when it comes to Italians. Like the video if you don't miss Correa, Arnautovic at Taremi. That's a fantastic comment and reminder from Massimo as well. Stealing Mattia's job. Why did Noah Lang even leave PSV? Yeah, he must be thinking that this guy doesn't even play me, Conte. I should have just stayed. But even Perisic is better than Noah Lang. Let's be real. I don't know why, but I just want Pio to score every time. Yeah, we'll talk about Pio for sure, Lucas. But we will talk about him and his struggles today. Filippo Aries, there's someone to bring us down back to earth. Napoli result is the worst for us. They didn't rotate though, Filippo. I don't want to talk too long about Napoli. I want to focus on Inter because I don't want, I'm not going to be on for long today. I've had a long day to travel for work, so I don't want to stay on for too long. But Napoli didn't rotate. They pretty much played their starting 11. I think Hoyland was out. Yeah, Hoyland is out with injury. Lobotka's out. Rahmani's out. Lukaku was out for a while. So in terms of who they had available, this was the best starting 11. Whereas with Inter, we started all our starters. So I can see what you're saying in terms of, oh, Conte, the players, they're going to be hungry and wanting revenge. I feel that we see that with Conte teams. Usually there's always a bounce back after a bad result. But let me cook them today, man. Let us cook them, Filippo. We'll talk about the Napoli game in the next few days when we start to preview the Napoli game. But today, they deserve to be cooked. Conte losing 3 in a row. Oh, yes. Nima and I are enjoying this. What do you mean Nima's not the one enjoying it? Nima is the closeted Napoli fan. He's well known to be the closet Napoli fan. He's not enjoying this. I love the Abdi's enjoying the loss. Arnas is enjoying the Napoli loss. Bobby Marley says I want them to struggle to the semis, quarters. They still have time. That's the thing with this with this Champions League format. I know what you mean, but this is the thing with this Champions League format. You can lose your first 2 games. I remember Real Madrid last year. They had a stinker start this, and then you literally have to get into the top 24 to get through to the next stage. It's really not that hard. But I know what you mean. But I think they'll still probably qualify to the next round, which is what we want. We don't want them to go top 8. We don't want them to do too well. We want them to kind of struggle through into the top 24. So they have to play the extra game. But yeah, hopefully they get their shit together soon. Napoli fans just lost the right to mock us about a loss against PSG. Yeah. What are you going to tell us? You lost 60. How can you lose 60 to PSV? That's just crazy. At least we lost to the best team in Europe. You guys are just losing. Are they even the best team in Holland? Are they even the best team in the Netherlands, PSV? Eduardo, thank you very much for the donation. Now we have to put the nail in Napoli's coffin, 100%, 100%. Oh, of course. Mattia always has to bring the negativity in here. Negativity FC King is bringing us back down to earth. I know, but we didn't win a big game last season, Mattia, so we can't talk. Napoli were winning their big games last season. It is what it is, man. Let it go now. It's a new season. Let's look forward now. We bought the Scudetti now. We know we bought the Scudetti. Plenty of multiple Scudetti to Milan, to Napoli. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. You gotta smell the flowers sometimes, Mattia, man. Like today, like 6-2. This is historic. Is this like the biggest win in PSV's history, recent history? I know PSV are a historic club in Europe, but that's gotta be something historic. But I think that's enough for cooking Napoli. I did really enjoy cooking them. Thank you for everyone adding the little spice, the masala, the ingredients to this Napoli deep fry. It was Diwali yesterday for anyone celebrating. So happy belated Diwali. Usually in the Indian culture, we eat some unhealthy fried things as well. So yeah, that was a nice, I don't know, samosa or a dosa or something, something along those lines that PSV enjoyed today. Nice cooking. Anyways, let's get back to business. Let's get focused on our boys. That's almost 10 minutes of talking about Napoli. That's too long. I wanted to only spend like a couple minutes. Let's talk about our boys. Inter 4, Union Saint-Gilloise 0. If I was going to make a preview yesterday, I didn't get time to make a preview. I would have predicted like a 2-0, like another 2-0 solid victory like we've been having recently. But this was even better. But yeah, happy Diwali as well to you, Jayesh. Yes, Ayan, I have Indian heritage. My background is Indian. Hey, Kerr Mafia in the house. As Black and Blue Legacy mentioned, shaky start today. Wasn't a great start. Stefan De Vrij hooked at halftime because he had an absolute stinker today. But in the end, or not in the end, after the first like 10, 15 minutes, weathering that storm, having some difficulties, Inter managed to recover and have a very, very convincing win. Um, Goal wise, statistics wise, it could have been actually even more than four. It could have been five, six, seven. We had clear cut opportunities to score more. Pio, oh my God, Pio today, as everyone is saying in the comments, like Pio missed two massive, massive sitters. Um, I posted the screenshots on Twitter, and people were commenting, of course, as a joke, but also not as a joke. Um, Arnautovic memes or commenting with Arnautovic gifs underneath the picture, because it reminded us of those big misses from the likes of Arnautovic, Taremi, Correa, mainly Arnautovic. Arnautovic was the one that was doing big misses. The thing with Taremi and Correa was like they would actually never even get chances, because Taremi had like a combined, I think, 20 shots for the whole season that he was at Inter, which was ridiculous. And Correa, yeah, he would just roam around the pitch doing dummies and stepping over the ball and doing not much else. Right, actually, Arnautovic was the one that was actually a goal threat a lot of the times and would have these big misses. But you know what? As Lucas says, even if today Pio missed all these chances and ended up with 0 goals, I think the fan base would have backed him. Of course, it's like those memes of uh the fat guy and the guy with a six pack is like, one is like sexual harassment, and then the other one is like, oh, this is a nice compliment. That is Taremi Arnautovic versus Pio is like he's our little puppy. He's like, oh, it's okay, Pio. You can miss 2 or 3 big chances. It's okay. You're a little fluffy little boy, aren't you, Pio? Because he is Italian, come through the Primavera, young Italian, like that on top again. We're dying for that. But also his attitude, like Lucas says, it's like he kept missing chance after chance today. 2 big chances. He missed this one, then he missed. We'll get to Lautaro's misses as well. Don't worry. Then he missed this one, um, which was he probably even. I don't know which one was worse. I think this one was worse because the other one, at least, he was sliding. Sometimes when you're reaching for the ball like that, it was a rainy day. The pitch was a bit skiddy. The ball was skidding off the pitch. But this one was just, complete open goal, standing up. But if it was Arnautovic, you would have seen like the slump of the shoulders. He would have been like, oh my God, doing this. The body language would have been all over the place. He would have been like kicking the post or kicking the advertisement board. Like, this guy is 20 years old, and the head that he has on his shoulders compared to guys like Arnautovic. We'll just use Arnautovic because he was always like that, especially after a big miss. He was just like, you could just see his mentality go to the gutter, and the teammates would have to like pick him up, like, oh, don't worry, don't worry, Arnaud, you can do this, you can do this. Then Inzaghi would have to say positive stuff about him, like, oh yeah, I'm not worried about him. Like, it was just a whole thing. We're talking about a grown man. He was 34, 35 years old when Inter signed him. So Pio, the fact that all this was happening, he was getting frustrated, but he didn't let him get himself down, which is what I love about Pio. And you can see, like, I don't want to use the Lukaku Aslani quote because that cursed Aslani, but mentality. This guy, Pio, has got a really, really good head on his shoulders. Like everyone says it. Kivu says it. Spalletti said it. Gattuso said it. His youth team coaches have said it. Like, this guy has a really, really good head on his shoulders. Hopefully it stays like that. And he didn't let this get him down. He kept going. Chances kept coming. I think the teammates also were like, come on, we got to get Pio a goal. And then finally, at the end, Boni, of course, his partner in crime, his young new partner in crime, gets him another assist. And this time he punishes Union Saint-Gilloise and gets his first goal in Champions League. We've been saying on this channel, like, we need that first goal in the Champions League. He's broke the duck with Italy. He's broke the duck with Inter in the Serie A. Now he's broke it in Champions League as well. Yeah, as I've been saying the last few months, he is the biggest talent since Balotelli to come out of Alba Primavera. It's so nice to have this. It's so nice to see him, and we just want to root for him. And yeah, even if he did miss, I hope the fan base would back him. I think they would. I think they would treat him differently to a Correa that we started booing. Or we, not me. I would never boo any of our players, but as in the Inter fans started booing Correa. I remember in the second season pretty quickly. Arnautovic, we remember started getting booed pretty quickly. Taremi, I feel like Taremi got some time because he used to work very hard. He used to run around a lot, and our initial results, especially in the Champions League when he used to start play, were fine. But then slowly things it took a while, but Taremi started to get it as well. But I feel like PIOOO would get a lot more of a pass from our fan base, and and he should as well. I would treat all of them the same, but in PIOOO's case, I can also see why he would deserve some slightly different treatment to everyone. Yeah, Lautaro was the same today. We know with Lautaro as well, he can miss sitters, he can miss big chances, but also him, we know he's just going to keep going. He got chances, got a few chances. And he finished the most difficult one out of all the chances nicely into the corner, very nicely. Who else? Let's talk about the kind of just the totality of the game, the lineup, the initial lineup from Kivu. I agreed with it. I liked it. The only changes I would have made, I would have put Pep Martinez in goal, but Zoma once again continue since the Juve game. He's not missed a beat. Apart from, yes, I know there was a mistake in the Roma game that we didn't get punished for, but in general, he has been very good since the Juve game. But I would have put Pep Martinez back line. This is the back line I would have started with Augusto, but I would have started Luis Enrique personally. But I'm happy to see Denzel getting a goal. I think a better performance today from Denzel. Still not the Denzel from last season, but slightly better for sure. And yeah, his second goal in the Champions League. Um, very nicely taken goal from a corner. Midfield, this is probably the midfield I would have started with. I think I would have maybe tried to rest Hakan, but at least he only got 60 minutes, which is fine. And then, yes, I would have put Fratesi. Actually, I would have put Fratesi and Sucic rather than Fratesi Zielinski. Fratesi had a very difficult first half, which where's the comment? I saw someone say, can we leave Fratesi in, Eduardo, can we just leave Fratesi in Belgium? And that right side, we've talked about it a lot when, especially in the Champions League, we've seen this lineup in the Champions League under Inzaghi quite a bit when we rotated. This right side, especially of Fratesi, Bisek, Dumfries, this trio is like the Bermuda Triangle. Not so much Bisek in terms of on the ball, because Bisek is actually very good on the ball, but in terms of footballing IQ, on the ball intelligence and off the ball intelligence, tactical intelligence, yeah, there's not much going on there in terms of that. So it doesn't really make it life easy for Fratesi to be playing next to Dumfries and Bisek, and vice versa as well. It's not great for Dumfries to have Bisek behind him and Fratesi next to him. It's for all of those guys. It's not a great trio, to be honest, to have there. But yeah, in games like this, you just gotta. I feel like you just gotta rotate. It's not ideal, but you gotta rotate. And yeah, I think Fratesi did improve in the second half, though. He even maybe should have got himself on the score sheet as usual, like he always manages to cause chaos. But in the end, I think he actually had a pretty decent pass record compared to a normal Fratesi game, 29 out of 33. Again, I think that's mostly in the second half. I think if I looked at his halftime stats, I'm sure it was nowhere near as good as this. I think second half when Inter really started to take control of the game, things improved, and he was very good. Like in terms of duel winning off the ball, that's where Zielinski struggled, which is why he's got a low rating here. I didn't mind Zielinski's game in general. I think he had a decent game, but again, it's like there's some things where you can see he's so technically gifted, so technically gifted, such a great talent. Some of his through ball, some of his key passes today, some of the chances that he created. But this was a big issue with Zielinski today. Lost a lot of duels, lots of very soft, He was trying to carry the ball a few times and got bullied off the ball very easily. This is the issue. Like, it's not a bad performance by Zielinski, and he actually showed a few good positive things on the ball specifically, but it's just not enough. Like it wasn't last season, it's just not enough to move Mkhitaryan out of the starting 11. We know that Inzaghi before him and now PIOOO, they have a minimum requirement, especially in this Mezzala role. We know this now, that Mkhitaryan meets, but Sucic at the moment can't, and Zielinski can't. This kind of and on the ball, not necessarily in terms of the ability on the ball, because I think Zielinski is still like just technique. I would even put him in terms of ability on the ball, like even over Barella, like in terms of some of the things that Zielinski can do, left and right foot, the touch, the ability. But this is all almost in theory now. This is I'm talking about the Zielinski from Napoli. Does that Zielinski even exist anymore? But with Mkhitaryan, like we saw in the Roma game, or even in a 6 out of 10 Mkhitaryan game, Kivu knows that he's going to offer him that tactical, almost perfection. Tactically, he's not going to be in the right spot at the right time. He's not going to lose one. He's not going to lose 6 out of 7 of his duels. He's going to make life difficult for the midfield opposition. He's not going to have that final ball. Sometimes he's going to miss the big opportunities. But everything else, Mkhitaryan is going to follow the instructions of the coach. But I think everyone did their job today, so I have no complaints from everyone. I think the only stinker today was Stefan de Vrij. Let's be real. The start of the game, it was all the whole team. I think we all started a bit soft. I'm not gonna blame just de Vrij. Like if you go back and watch the game, and I made a note of this, mental note of this. Lautaro in the first 2 minutes, first 2 touches, he loses the ball. So that invites, rather than keeping the ball, I think one time he tried to dribble past someone or tried to nutmeg someone. The second time he just got bullied off the ball. So that invites his pressure straight away, like bad start. And then there was this long ball into behind against this guy, Promise David, this Canadian big ass striker, absolute tank, by the way. Caused the right all sorts of issues in the first half. Not very quick, which is actually even makes this worse. This first chance that the right conceded, because this guy is not even quick. He's massive and super strong, but you could see he just doesn't have the pace really, or shouldn't really have the pace to get in behind into the back line. But first gets to the ball, bullies De Vrij out of the way, then kind of dribbles past him, gets a shot away, and De Vrij keeps trying to tackle him and just doesn't get anywhere near him. But luckily, Zoma was alive. And then after that, Zoma had to continue being alive, because after the corner, we conceded more chances. And then Lautaro, after his Inter's awful start, but in general, Lautaro had an awful start, as I mentioned, lost the ball twice straight away. But then basically, this is a goal from Lautaro. This is worth 1 xG. This is a goal from Lautaro Martinez, because you see Zomer is doing the Handanovic there, the Handanovic mannequin challenge, not moving, and he clears the ball off the line because that was going in. And then even after this, the Union then had a couple of chances that tested Zomer. So yeah, not a good start. But this is the thing with this Inter team at the moment. Like we talked about against Roma, when we concede chances at the moment, recently now, we're not getting punished. It's a bit different from the start of the season. Remember, I feel like at the start of the season, maybe we would have conceded 1 or 2 goals. The way things were going in the start of the season, it seemed like every little half chance we will get punished. This Inter team was getting punished, whereas now feels like the tide of the luck has kind of turned Inter's way finally, which is nice. It does feel nice that every time we concede a chance, it's not like, oh, we're going to concede a goal. And then at the other end, we weren't ruthless. The scoreline might show that Inter were ruthless, but we were far from ruthless. And yeah, as Eduardo said, look at the XG. It's 4.54 for Inter, but as we said, like it says here, 8 big chances. I don't think I've ever seen Inter create 8 big chances in a game, and we missed 5 of them. So we're far, far, far from ruthless. But basically, after the 15th minute, I would say, 15th, 20th minute, then Inter kind of turned it on, and that was it. And obviously, after the first goal, it took us till the 41st minute to score. Surprisingly, now looking back, because we did start creating chances pretty quickly afterwards. Took till the 41st minute, but after that, it was cruise control. Then Martinez, and then Hakan. I think that was our first penalty as well this season, which was nice. Always nice to see Hakan stepping up for a penalty, and then PIOOO puts a bow on this win. Nah, Juve is seventh choice. I keep repeating this. People think it's harsh. No, it's just the truth. Andy Juve is the seventh choice midfielder of this Inter team, guys. He is the Davy Klaassen of this Inter team. He is only going to play when we maybe Coppa Italia might get a start, or one of those last few Champions League games when we already know where we're finishing, or something like that. That guy is the seventh midfielder of this season. And it's not harsh, it's just the truth. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think that's why also Taremi got a bit more time compared to Correa and Arnautovic because of his body language and hard work. Everyone's hyping. Oh, look, I wouldn't say he's dropping stinkers in terms of scoring. Yes, he missed a goal, but this is life for strikers, Ron John. Like when people, I'm actually going to try to find my clip in the summer when I was discussing PIOOO. It's like people, especially when someone is having a bad period at Inter, you automatically think this guy's having a bad period at Inter, but this guy at Spezia is scoring a lot of goals. This means that he would come at Inter, would not miss chances. This is not me like trying to brag about like having some crazy, footballing IQ or he's the truth. It's just PIOOO and the few matches I watched him at Spezia as well. If you actually watch, like he's a clunky guy. He's not going to get his feet sorted super quickly. Sometimes he looks very clunky. Sometimes some people have even compared him to Lukaku because in terms of like that body, the heaviness of his body and the way he moves, kind of clunky. It is kind of like that. You saw it many times. Like sometimes Lukaku would just miss these kind of shots where he just doesn't have the quick feet to like get into the body posture or get his body behind the ball as he should to get the shot on target. They look very silly, some of these misses. They look very bad. And yeah, he should have scored one against Roma, yes, and he should have scored more than one today, 100%. But I don't think he's dropping stinkers in terms of finishing. And you got to remember, he's doing so much. This guy is putting in so much work off the ball with that heavy body. That takes a toll on his clarity of mind, his the breathing when he's in front of goal, because it's not easy what he's doing with that body that he's got. The amount of running that he does is fine now at his age that he can do all this running, but he's probably at some point in the next few years, as his body starts to mature, he's probably going to have to slow that down. He can't be running around, sprinting around that much. At the moment, of course, he's young and full of calm, as they say. He's got the energy. He wants to make an impact at Inter in the world of football. He's hungry. I love it. He's just running his ass off. But at some point, he's going to start to little bit slow down a little bit and be a bit more, smarter with his running. Because at the moment, he's doing, and the battling he does off the ball or trying to win battles back to the defender. Those are very, very intensive. Like you try to stand up and then slightly bend your knees and just have put all your weight on the bottom of your feet and try to like hold off against, like just put your hand against the wall, but the wall is behind you is moving. That's actually, it looks like, because you're not moving, it doesn't look very intense, but that type of work is very, very energy consuming. That's why strikers always, a lot of times they don't cover a lot of kilometers compared to midfielders and wing backs, etc. But when you see players come off at the end of a football game, some especially like in Serie A or top level football, the strikers are the ones that look the most tired because they're doing so much work in terms of that pressing. These days, modern strikers, you're expected to press, you're expected to hold the ball, you're expected to bring others into play, and you're expected to also do the thing that is the hardest in football, which is score goals. Modern strikers, I know we do criticize modern strikers that we're lacking the Vieris, the Lucatonis, the whatever, the all the big name strikers, the Batistutas, the Crespos of the past. That the level of strikers these days isn't that high. I agree with that. It's not nostalgia. The level of strikers is lower, but strikers these days are expected to do a lot more. Back in the day, you know, these guys, you just lump the ball up to them. Yeah, if you win a header, if you bring someone into play, great. But we'll just keep lumping it. At least 1 out of 20 duels is fine as long as you do it. You don't need to hold it. You don't need to bring others into play. Now it's like you have to be technically, you have to be a brute like PIOOO, but then you also need to be technically strong. It's like it's a completely different ball game. So to PIOOO, very long-winded answer to the criticism from that comment, but to me, I would give him some slack in terms of his finishing because he does so much off the ball that I would give him that, and that's why we always did it with Lautaro as well. With Lautaro, sometimes I also give Lautaro a bit of slack because he works so hard off the ball that when he gets in front of goal, sometimes I feel like I'm not surprised that he's not got the clinical or the kind of the cool mind at that moment because he just maybe sprinted 30, 40 meters before that to press someone off the ball, and now he's got the ball. Yeah, and literally until if there's an injury in midfield, Andy Diouf, just guys, get it in your mind. He's not going to get much playing time. No, I mean at the same time, again, this is not why kids don't play in Italy, Bobby Miley. That is not. That's due to coaches, Italian coaches, or the level as well. Or some of the talent that we've had coming through as well. It hasn't been up to par. But I feel, yeah, you just got to be a bit more. I feel like more nuanced. Yeah, Ethan, we already talked about the 6-2 at the beginning. We already cooked Napoli, so go back if you haven't seen that. Oh, yeah, in the second half, nice little talking point here from Batman. Yeah, Bobby Miley, you started watching at the perfect point, 35 minutes in. So Jan Bisek in the second half, so De Vrij got taken off after his cooking from Promise David and a yellow card. Very Inzaghi moment there by Kivu. Takes off the guy with the yellow card. And then Bisek actually moved into centre back. Not Akanji. Akanji came on, but Akanji played as the right centre back, which was quite surprising because Akanji has, as we saw, when I talked about in the scout report when we signed Akanji for Switzerland, many times he's played in the middle of the three. And of course, in the back four for Man City, he plays in the middle, so to say, anyway. And surprising as well, to be fair, because we saw Inzaghi sometimes, or especially like in pre-season at times, play Bisek a few games here and there as a substitute, a couple moments as a centre back. So quite surprising that over Kanji picked Bisek in that role, and he did fine because in the second half, 60th minute, Promise David was taken off. Then this other guy, Kevin Rodriguez, came on that I feel like wasn't as much of a threat as Promise David. But yeah, Bisek did pretty well. If he can develop in that role, that would be nice. We always talked about in the long term could solve a problem for the future for Inter. But again, I feel like Akanji should be that answer in there as well for the long term, in my opinion. And yes, thank you, Mattia, for reminding the peoples to like and subscribe to the video. Matteo says I was sure the first goal was going to be still allowed. Yeah, so there was. I didn't get to see the replay properly for the first one because I was busy trying to take a screenshot of it. So yeah, Bisek as usual, very, very. He's always a threat in the opposition box. That's one thing with Bisek. He was a little bit shaky in the first half, Bisek as well. Not as much as De Vrij, but there was a couple of moments with Bisek where it looked like, oh, come on, Bisek. Get your head screwed on, bro. But then as soon as we get a set piece, Bisek is always a threat. So yeah, like Matteo says, I'm not sure. I didn't get to see the replay properly, but it looked like he headed it, but it might have bounced off his shoulder or his arm or something. But I'm sure, they always review every especially a goal, they review everything in the build up to it, and it wasn't called back. Um, and then Dumfries pounces on it with his left foot. Very good finish, actually. I know it's like probably point blank range pretty much, but um, with Dumfries with the left foot on a volley, I wouldn't be shocked if it because he had a shot in the first half. You guys remember he had a shot with the volley, left foot, and it was going so wide, and he hit the guy in the face as well, and he went down to the floor. He mishit it so bad. But yeah, Denzel and Bisek are both such big set piece threats. And this was the goal that opened up the gates for Inter. Before that, yeah, this is the big chance that Lautaro missed. Great pass by Zielinski. I made sure to like put it in brackets there because sometimes you forget, the build up to the goal. So yeah, this is what we're talking about with Zielinski. Like overall, there was some nice moments from Zielinski for sure, like where he shows his quality. But again, it's just like everything else from Zielinski, the physicality side of things, the tactical side of things is just, he's not going to move the needle in Kiev's mind that this guy can start over Mkhitaryan. But this was a nice little move. And yeah, Lautaro here, one should have finished better because he shot it pretty much straight at the goalkeeper, or even easier would have been just a tap in for Frattesi, just pass it across to Frattesi, who's there for the tap in. And then afterwards, he had a even bigger, or not even bigger miss actually, because the other one's probably in terms of like just passing it across to Frattesi is even easier. But this one was more cringy or more embarrassing because it was like, what were you even trying to do? He was on his left foot, so maybe probably not fully comfortable with the position of the ball, but he tried to kind of fake shot. He tried to do like, the goal Thuram scored last season against the Hellas Verona, where he does like a heavy, like a fake shot that's a step over the ball and then takes it around the goalkeeper. But yeah, he completely fluffed his line here. And it looked like maybe it was one of those games from Lautaro where he was going to end up goalless because he was just feeling he was Laufato mode. But luckily afterwards, another lovely move by Inter. This was a nice counter-attack. PIOOO got an assist as well. So PIOOO actually finishes one goal and one assist. So 2 GA today for PIOOO. And lovely finish here by Lautaro. The hardest one, as we said, literally the hardest one of the three, because the guy McAllister is in front of him blocking. Well, actually, sometimes footballers use that as like guidance anyway. But, in a way, a much harder finish than the other ones. Right into the top corner, 2-0 before halftime. And that pretty much took the wind out of the Union Saint-Gilloise sails. And then in the second half, what minute was this? 53rd minute. So yeah, came out well out of the second half. Handball from the guy, had his hand quite high up. It's one of those ones that if we conceded, I would have said is a bit harsh because it's like, what is he really going to do there? But it was high and wide, his arm, so it makes sense. Hakan steps up, which I think it's the what's it called? First penalty I think we had this season, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Hakan penalties. He's only ever missed one. He's cash money. Lovely penalty. He sends the keeper the wrong way. Decent performance by Hakan as well, by the way. I forgot to kind of talk about Hakan. He was similar. I think everyone was kind of off in the first 15, 20 minutes. Hakan was one of those. But then afterwards, everyone kind of picked up their level. Let's see how he finished in terms of stats. Created the most chances, so I'm guessing the from the corners. Oh, there was actually one chance that Hakan created. It was like which one was it? It was like a lovely pass. Oh yeah, that was the PIOOO chance. Yeah, Hakan did a lovely little chip ball into Lautaro, who brings it down really nicely, and he hits it across to PIOOO when he missed the sitter. And then PIOOO also had, this was obviously Hakan again off the corner. This was not really a big chance for PIOOO, but he was dominating in the air here, so he maybe could have done a bit better. What else in terms of highlights? This was the other massive opportunity missed by PIOOO, the one that probably was the easiest of the lot. I think it was it Frattesi or Denzel crossing it into the middle, and completely miscues it. And then here, Sucic, good substitute appearance by Sucic. Lovely pass into Frattesi, who on his left foot shoots. Maybe you could say could do better, but he's on his left foot. Good save by the goalkeeper as well. By the way, the goalkeeper was 6'9". The commentator was saying he was massive. What was his name? Sherpen. Kiel Sherpen. He was absolutely massive. 6'9". But yeah, Frattesi. Would have been nice to cap off the performance with the goal because I think he did improve in the second half. Frattesi, again, similar to Zielinski, not really. Frattesi not really staking a claim to become a starter. We know that Kivu likes him, but I don't think this type of performance really helped his case. But I think just like last season, this lineup, this rotated lineup, shows that is good enough to be, get you the points in Champions League against these weaker teams. Frattesi, the midfielder Frattesi, Aslani even last season, midfielder Frattesi, Aslani, Zielinski last season got the job done in a lot of games. Front line of like Taremi Turam or Lautaro, Arnautovic, a lot of the time, like this rotation, it was always good enough to get the job done in these types of games. But as someone commented at the beginning of the game, again, our backup guys keep contributing, unlike last year's. Boni, even though he only had half an hour, came on, got the assist for PIOOO. Esposito, the other backup, goal and assist today. So they just keep outperforming. And I think officially now it's like not even close. They've already outdone what all of those three guys in the Champions League. Anyway, I think in the Champions League, I think they've already outdone what Arnautovic, Correa, and Taremi did last season in terms of goal contribution. I know in Serie A, Arnautovic had I think he had six, 7 goals last season, I think, if I remember correctly. So there's a little bit of catching up there still, but we're only at match day 7 in Serie A. So it just shows you the difference that this makes. Big difference. Yeah. I'm definitely going to go and watch the highlights of that game. I need to watch the highlights of the Napoli game. Denzel awarded man of the match. Yeah, I guess I could give it to Denzel. I would give it to PIOOO for just for the encouragement, but I guess you can't give it to PIOOO after missing those big chances. But usually Champions League, I'm surprised. Usually the Champions League, they kind of just give it by the most GA. They don't really care. They're almost like a fantasy, like a fantasy game type of vibe. Usually the Champions League man of the match awards is just usually who scored or who's done the most contributions. But yeah, Denzel, I mean, I did criticize him in the last game. If you guys remember my post Roma reaction saying that it's not been a good start to the season from Denzel. And funnily, actually, in the build-up to the game, they were saying there was on Sky Sport Italia, the Sky Calcio, the Italian commentary, they were showing the build-up to the game, and they were showing that Denzel had like a little issue in the build-up. They were saying that it was a shoe issue or like related to his boot, but the staff was massaging it looked like they were massaging his Achilles, so it looked like it was actually a little bit of a little injury maybe, but it didn't look like it in the game. He was, maybe this was actually probably his best game of the season in terms of, he started badly as well. First few minutes he gave away the ball in silly ways, but then like everyone else really picked up slowly as the game went on. Yeah, dominated on the right afterwards in terms of duels, defensively solid, has some good crosses as well, created some really big chances. Yeah, as Bobby Marley says, really created some chances. Yeah, might be his best game of the season, to be honest, till now, Denzel, which is not really saying much because he's not had many good performances this year. But yeah, Denzel man of the match, I'll give it to him. Zielinski's best performance, was either the Man City debut, or actually, I think the actual best performance, total performance, was RB Leipzig, Inter RB Leipzig, which we won 1-0, and he won the man of the match, the Champions League man of the match award that game. Even though he had no goal contribution, that was his best performance at Inter. But apart from that, yeah, really hard to remember any types of standout performances. Hey, Ian Kerr in the house as well. Debbie Kerr's in the house. The full Kerr Mafia is in the house. decent performance after a shaky first 20 minutes. It took 105 years, but we have our revenge. Oh, did we have some sort of negative record that they beat us, Union Saint Gilloise, like 100 years ago? I didn't know. Oh, we have a record. Thank you, Random 10 Inter, for the little stat here. We've kept the most clean sheets in the Champions League since 2022-23. Even more than I was expecting, maybe someone like Arsenal or someone. But yeah, we're just solid in the Champions League. We are a different beast. We definitely are a different beast. And it looks like PIOOO is starting to win the hearts of some fans here. Ezemba Michael says he's beginning to love PIOOO, and I think a lot of fans are also starting to do that. Yeah, Akanji was classy. As soon as he came on, I think already like the game was won by then in terms of mentally. But yeah, he was different class. As soon as he comes on, you can see it. And also City fans here. Nathan Ake, well, he would only play in the Bastoni role, really. He's a good player, good defender, Nathan Ake, but he's more of like he's not going to play over Bastoni, so as a Bastoni backup, but then his salary would be too high for that, so no thanks. And yeah, next up we have Kairat, so that one has to be another massive. That one has to be another. I don't like to say this. I like to try to put some respect on all the teams, but it has to be another easy win. Yes, maybe there'll be some difficult moments in that game like there was today, but it should be another easy, another 3 points. And that is on Wednesday, November the 5th. And it's nicely, it's after the Hellas Verona game. And, well, actually, yeah, before Lazio, but Lazio not as good this season. And yeah, of course, next up we have Napoli on Saturday. Oh, 5 p.m. kickoff. That's an awkward timing for me. I might not be able to actually watch that Napoli game, but I will be here for sure to do the match reaction. Maybe the day after, might be. Let's have a look at the other Champions League results from today, actually, quickly before I sign off. Matches today. Whoa, Arsenal beat Atletico 4-0. Oh, Arsenal is painful to admit, but this might be their year. This is, I have to start respecting Arsenal now and Arteta. We've been clowning them for many years. I've enjoyed having this kind of rivalry with them online, and we beat them last year. But I think they're going to win the Premier League this year, and they're going to be a pain in the arse in the Champions League as well, because they have basically two teams. They spend so much money in the summer, and they're a set piece FC like we are sometimes, or even better than us actually at set pieces. Yeah, they're going to be a pain in the arse. I'm not looking forward to that game against them this year. Last year. I loved it. I loved it that we had them, but this year I'm not really looking forward to the game against Arsenal. Yeah, the Italian sides are letting the side down, man. Like, look at Newcastle. Newcastle beating Benfica. Dortmund won. PSG smashed Leverkusen, 2 red cards. What the hell? Barcelona smashed the Taremis Olympiacos. Man City won against Villarreal. So no shock results. No shock results today. All the favorites, basically. I don't know if Newcastle Benfica probably was like kind of balanced in bookmakers wise, I imagine. But yeah, no shocks. Pretty boring match day. Oh, thank you very much, Tommy, for becoming a channel member again. I know you've been a channel member for a while before, so thank you again for joining up again. That said, we do have a better set piece record. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. At least Atleti look a lot less threatening than they have in the past. But again, it's the stylistic matchup with Atleti, which is the annoying thing. Sometimes it's the style matchup that makes the not a good matchup, which actually also makes it maybe a good matchup for us against Arsenal. They don't match up nicely against us. We don't match up nicely against Atletico for similar reasons. But anyway, guys, I have enjoyed the match today, and I'm so happy for Pio Esposito. And yes, Eduardo FC and Positivity FC are eating well at the moment. And yeah, man of the match officially was given to Denzel Dumfries. So I'm happy to give it to Denzel Dumfries. And yeah, keep a lookout on the channel. Next few days, we'll preview the Napoli game. Napoli got absolutely cooked, deep fried. Conte is a certified fraud in Europe, but who cares? We are cooking. Oh, actually, let me finish up on the Champions League table so we can actually smile about our nice position right at the top next to Arsenal and PSG. We should be on 12 points by the next game. And then afterwards, our difficult game starts. So lovely, lovely start as we needed and predicted in the Champions League. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, guys. Thank you, Mattia, for always handling the chat and the admin side of things. Ciao, ragazzi. Always, always. Forza Inter, Forza Pio.